Prominent chief guest Mr. Babu Balu, technical specialist, HCL Technologies. And a hearty welcome to our secretary, Dr. Gautam Vij, and our beloved principal, Dr. M.K. Malati. And a cheerful morning to our beloved teachers and fellow students. I'm Ashamita, pursuing second year BCom ISM of GSS JC. Every step of prayer in the morning is taken with the name of God. So let us start upon with a college prayer and join a hand for the sake of blessing of God. I would like to invite Ms. Poona, Mama Assistant Professor, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, sir. A very good morning to all. On behalf of Guru Sri Shanti Jain College, I deem it a great pleasure to welcome you all for our inter-college national level workshop on Python programming, organized by Department of BCom Information Systems Management. First and foremost, I thank our Honorable Secretary and our beloved Principal for their constant support and encouragement to conduct all events in our college. Mr. Babu Balu, a seasoned professional with over 16 plus years of industry experience with broadened knowledge in system software and development and application development. Mr. Babu Balu has completed MSc Network System Engineering from University of Plymouth, England, and BE from EVP Engineering College. He is an experienced quality and security specialist with a demonstrated history of working in the information technology and services industry. He is skilled in ISO 27001 enterprise software, ITIL, and IT service management. He is also a blogger, trainer, mentor, and coach engineer and tech lead in front end engineering and solutioning. His mission is to educate the interested students by giving professional excellence in information technology, career focus, and global perspective. I'm happy to welcome you, sir, for this occasion, and please share your knowledge with us. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks a lot for giving such a wonderful opportunity. I thank the organizers, Carmugil ma'am, and the principal and the management.
Thank you, sir. I would like to start you the program, sir. Kindly start the program.
Okay, sure. So last week, we started off with the basics of Python. I'm going to share my screen, so let me know you are able to see it. Okay. Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can.
You are able to see, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you're able to see the this web page here.
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay. So let's start with that. like last week, I know several students were unable to join due to the rain and bad network connectivity. So I requested ma'am to all of you to go through the first session, which happened last week. And anyway, I'll give you a quick recap of what we saw last week. Okay, just a quick recap, and then we'll start learning the new things. So we started off with Python and who was the creator of Python and where and all Python can be used. So Python is used almost in every industry, and Python can work in cross-platform: Windows, Mac, Linux, Raspberry Pi, and even your mobile phone. Python is very easier to learn. It is like an English language, and like when you write some program in other languages, you will have to write a lot of lines of code. But the same program, if you want to write in Python, you will write in fewer lines. That's because Python is functional programming. There are a lot of functions in it, and you can always reuse them. So Python is an interpreter system, and we are using the Python 3. That is the latest. Some of them are still using Python 2. That's the version. And we saw that this is a string. A string will be enclosed in double quotes, or it can be enclosed in single quotes. And print is a function. A function can be identified by an open bracket and a closed bracket, and within that we are giving an argument, so that is printed on the screen. So we saw several examples related to that. Okay. And yeah, Python installation could be done, but we can even run it from the browser. Okay, so I didn't want to waste time in showing installation of Python and all. And every language has a grammar to it, otherwise it will be meaningless. Okay, so Python also has a grammar where we give some indentation. Even in English we have some grammar and some rules also, like you write paragraph, you put a full stop to denote the end of the sentence, and you give some tab spaces, margins. So everything we are doing in English also. So don't think Python is mathematics. Okay. And here you can see that there is a simple decision making statement. If 5 greater than 2, this is a greater than symbol, and this colon denotes that the if block has completed. And here you can see the indentation. So the indentation means it's a some set of spaces. You have the space bar, right? So maybe you have to press 2 times or 4 times depending on the environment. So whatever is coming after the space belongs to this code block. Okay. So if 5 greater than 2, yes, it is true, then this print statement will be executed. If you have given 5 greater than 10, then it will be false. It's not correct, right? So it will not come into the code block. So we saw a lot of examples, and how people sometimes can break the rule, like that they could encounter error, and how to fix them also we saw. See here, we haven't given the spaces. And giving spaces also, you have to be consistent. Here 2 spaces is given, here maybe 10 spaces is given. This is not good. Okay. So we have to correct several things. And this code block, here you can see there are multiple statements within this if block. So you have to give the spaces accordingly. I'll give you a small demonstration of this. Okay. So we agreed to give 2 spaces within the code block. And if you want one more statement also to be part of the if code block, then you have to be consistent. Okay. See here also 2 spaces, here also 2 spaces. Okay. And if you run it, now the error is solved. So you get the print 2 times. So here uh, if you give the print statement outside the if block, okay, you still get the same output. That is because this print statement is printed in this if block because this condition is true. And then this statement is no way related to this if command block. That is why it is also printing. So suppose if I make this 5 greater than 10, okay, and I put a descriptive message saying inside if. Okay, I'm going to run it. So we did not get this print statement. Okay, but we got this print statement because it is not related to the if statement. So I hope you can understand that this condition is false in this instance, and that is the reason we are not able to see this print. Okay, and what else we saw? We learned about variables. So variables are like containers or like boxes. Like we order something in Amazon, right? So you have a box, cardboard box, and you have some value inside that. So the cardboard box is the X, and the value inside your mobile phone or whatever you purchase is the value. So similarly, it can have different types. Different boxes can contain different values. So this box Y has a string, hello world. Okay, but this box has a value 5. And we saw the usefulness of comments. So comments are very much friendly, and they are highly useful for documentation. So what you are doing, what you are trying to achieve, you can write it in comments, because this programming is a collaboration effort. So you might be developing some code and you might be giving it to somebody else to develop from there. So they need to understand what you are trying to do. Okay, so comments are helpful in that. And we saw some exercise related to this missing part. So this you will type print here, okay, to output. And we saw about comments, and comments can be even at the end of the line. And there are multi-line comments. If you want to write many things like description, author, what is it, what is this program is going to do, you can use the triple quotations. So you are using double quotes, but you are repeating it thrice, and you are closing it thrice. So either you can use double quotes or you can use single quotes as well. That will also work. So don't think I'm going very quick, but because this is just a recap for you to understand. And Python variables, we saw about variables earlier also. I told you they are boxes. So if you are using that box, then you get the value. So here the box X is printed, and what is inside the X? The value 5 is getting printed. And what is inside Y? The value John will be printed. So let's try it. Here you can see the value 5 and the value John are printed. So what will happen if I put a quotation marks like this? Either double quotes or single quotes, it doesn't matter. Okay. So if you see that we don't print the value containing in the variable, because this is not a variable at all. Whatever enclosed in the string is treated as a string. That's it. Even you can type blah blah blah, that will be printed here like that. So you have to be careful that you are trying to access the variable. And if you want to access the variable, don't give quotation marks. If you give quotation marks, then it is treated as a string variable. Okay. Now sorry, it's a string value. Okay, so it's like printing John. Okay, and you can print directly also, but I will tell you the use of having them in a variable and then accessing it for some kind of manipulation, I would say. Okay, so you're getting similar result only, but we'll see what is the real use of variables. And we talked about casting. So casting is like changing the or creating a shape out of something. Okay, so this is a integer because it is not having any quotes. So you are converting that to a string using the string function. So 3 will become 3 like this. It will be enclosed in quotation marks. And this is an integer, and you're trying to cast it to an integer. No difference, it is already an integer. and this is for converting to a floating point value. So floating point value gives you the decimal fraction like this. So if you want to know the type of the variable, you can use the type function here. You can see here there is a print function, and inside that you are giving type of x, and there is another print function inside that type of y. So if you want to know the what type of variable it is, because if Amazon is sending you some TV, 40-inch TV, they will be getting a special cardboard box and packing it in thermocol like that, right? They won't put it in the normal packing like they deliver groceries or mobile, something like that. Okay, each value is put in a some kind of a special cardboard box, right? So similarly we have types. So strings are put into some special type, and numbers are put into special type. Floating point, another special type. So if you want to know their type, the type of the box or the type of the variable, you can use the type of that variable name, not in quotations. Okay, so you are getting first print as integer because it is holding an integer, and the second value is string. So the thing is, Python does actually chooses the box for us. So we need not worry about, for string we need to put it in a special box. For integer we have to put it in some other box. We need not worry about it. Python takes care of it. But you have to take care when you are using X and Y, because it doesn't matter for Python to know. Okay, but you have to know as a programmer, and you have to carefully program. I'll show you some problems related to that. Okay, so yeah, we saw many things about variables and their case sensitivity. Like small case a and uppercase a are different, and that it will not overwrite the old value or the value 4 because it is in a separate memory location. And variable names, we have to follow the rules. The rules are, it can have letters or underscores. So these are the valid characters to create a variable name. So either you can have uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and underscore. It can start, the variable names can start with an underscore, but they cannot start with a number. Okay, those are the rules. So we saw that this is starting with a number, so it's not legal. And this is having hyphen, only underscore is allowed. Okay, and this is having a space, you cannot have spaces. That's why underscores are introduced, and that's where I think we stopped. And there were you can create your variable names in by following some kind of a convention. This is just a naming convention. It's not a rule. It's not a Python rule. But here, instead of giving spaces, see here, they are changing the case of the next word to uppercase. So it's a quite readable, right? Instead of this also lowercase and this is also lowercase, it will be very tough for reading. So readability is also an important thing. So this one is uppercase and this one starts with lowercase. That is the only difference between camel case and Pascal case. And snake case is what we give underscore. Everything is in lowercase, but we separate the words using underscore. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Here only I think we left it. Okay. So this is called as assigning many values to multiple variables. So here you can see orange is one string, comma, banana is another string, and cherry is another string. So orange is assigned to X, banana to Y, cherry to Z respectively. Okay, so using the comma operator, you can do multi values to multi variables. You can assign in just one go. So let's see this. So if this comma operator is not used, then what you would have done is you would have done like x equal to orange and y equal to banana, c equal to cherry. Okay, so the output was earlier like this. Now I'm going to run it again, and I see the same output. Okay, so it doesn't matter, but it gives us some kind of a shortcut, or instead of typing many things, it's giving us shortcuts. So lot of shortcuts are available in Python. Okay, but first thing is we will not learn about shortcuts. We have to learn the fundamentals. Once we are comfortable, then we will go into the shortcuts. Okay, that is the advice I would give. And instead of giving comma, you can also give equal to assign to all. So this is like assigning the same value to all variables. Okay, so if you want to try, see that x equal to orange, y equal to orange, z equal to orange, everything is orange. So just in one go, instead of writing 3 lines, x equal to orange, y equal to orange, z equal to orange, we have written in single line. This is another shortcut. Okay, unpack a collection and list. I will get to this later. I'll tell you what it is. Okay, so far we have seen about output variables. So we have done already a lot of things with print statement to print it on the screen, right? So let's try this. So x equal to awesome, and here there is a print statement and there is an addition symbol. Okay, that's a little bit weird, right? So what does that addition symbol do? Okay, I will write you. I will write some meaningful name. Okay, sorry, meaningful example. So name equal to, I'll make it as Bharat. Okay, and I gave welcome as the. Okay, so let's see what is happening here. So I have assigned this value Bharat into this variable name in a special container. It's a string variable, okay, because it's holding a string. And here the name is getting substituted. So Bharat will be getting substituted. And here I already have a string called welcome Mr. And this addition symbol was quite weird, right? So this addition symbol has a special meaning. So it will join the strings together. Normally we have learned like a plus symbol will add two numbers. But here in Python, it can add two different strings together. There is a special term called concatenation. It's a technical term. That means the same thing, joining of two strings, two or more strings together. Okay, that is called concatenation. So you can note it down. Okay. So the joining of two strings together can be achieved by the plus symbol. See here, I am able to easily explain it to you by adding comments here. The use of comments. Okay. So I'm adding this string on the left hand side and this string variable on the right hand side. So together it is joined together and it is printed on the screen. So see how useful it is. Name is equal to Bharat, and as soon as you enter, it joins and wishes the person. So let me enhance this program. Instead of assigning, what I do is I wanted to make it more interactive. So I use an input function. See here, this is a special function I'm introducing now. And I'm saying, please let me know your name. and I run it. Okay, so there is some error. So what is that error? EOF when reading a line. Okay, let's run it again. Okay, because it's from the browser, I think there is some trouble. So let's remove the spaces here. Okay, okay, not a problem. I will come to input. Okay, I'll take their example and modify it. So there is another example given here. X equal to Python is, this is a string variable, and y is equal to awesome, and you are doing addition of these two variables. These two are string variables, so Python understands the meaning of the plus here. Okay, it automatically understands, so it understands it is not an addition, but it is a concatenation. That means joining of two or more strings together. So you can add any number of strings like this. So let's run it. So we did Python is plus awesome and stored it in the variable z, and then we printed it on the screen. So you got this output. So to further enhance, I can add something like m equal to students, and here I add plus m. So I can add any number of strings because I told you joining of two or more strings is possible, right? So you are doing an addition, so you have to make sure you leave the spaces accordingly. Otherwise, it might not be readable. See, there is no space here. So you have to give the space here. Let's run it again. Okay, now it's quite readable, right? So you can add like this, any number of statements. Let's go back. And this is what we were used to do, right? X plus 5, 5 plus 10 is 15. So see here, Python automatically understands the same plus operator has different meaning based on the data type you are using. Earlier example, we were using string variables. So it understood it has to do concatenation. And here, these two variables are integers. So the plus operator understood that it has to do addition. See how intelligent Python is. Okay. So you need not mention it. I have to do concatenation. I have to do addition. So that is the power of object-oriented programming. We never spoke about that, uh, but we are actually making use of that. Okay, that is a slightly advanced concept. We will not cover that here, but I'm just giving you an introduction. That even if you don't know oops, you're already practicing oops, so not to worry about it. And here is a error case. See, I told you when two integers are we are trying to add using a plus operator, Python does addition. When two string variables are there, and if you try to add, Python understands you are trying to do concatenation or joining of strings. But you're trying to mess around with Python. See, x is a integer and y is a string, and you're trying to add, and Python will be very angry on you, right? Because you're trying to add integer and string. Let's see what happens. See, Python is scolding us. Type error, unsupported operand for plus integer and string. So we should not do this, right? The correct way is, if you really want to add 5 to John and print it on the screen, then you make it as a string. Make 5 as a string just by adding double quotes. Python will be very happy for you. Okay. Let's see that. See, 5 and John, no complaints from Python. Python is very happy. Probably it is smiling inside. Okay, next example. Global variables, I don't want to confuse you on the basic session. Okay. Yeah, there is a variable exercise here. Let's do the exercise. Okay. By doing practicing only, we can impart the knowledge what we have learned. So always practice, even if you don't have a laptop, not to worry. Just write it in a paper and pen. Just write it with a paper. Okay. So they want to create a variable name, car name, which is in a different color, and assign the value Volvo to it. Okay, so Volvo is a string probably. So they have given like fill in the blanks like we used to do it in the school. So car name equal to Volvo. So let's try our luck. Submit the answer. Yeah, it's correct. Next one, create a variable named x and assign the value 50 to it. So always don't, last time also I told you, don't give x, y and all. Give meaningful names like name, age, class, like that. Okay. So here it's the example provided by them, so I cannot do. So x equal to, we have to assign 50, right? Not 50 equal to x. Always the value should be on the right hand side. So that's correct. We are doing very good so far. And what is that question here? Display the sum of 5 plus 10 using two variables x and y. So y is equal to 10 and print x plus y. That is what they are asking. Okay, they want the sum of 5 plus 10. So here it is blank. So I give x equal to 5 because they want to do 5 plus 10. Okay. And here they have given x space y where I put the plus operator. So it will add and print. So we are doing pretty good. And this one, can you guess? Create a variable called z or z, whatever we call, and assign x plus y to it and display the result. So x is equal to 5, an integer type variable has having the value 5, an integer type variable y having the value 10, and it's being added together. And when we add together, we have to put it in a new box, right? We have to put it in a bigger box if you are adding two things together. So that box they are giving, you have to assign it in the variable z, and you have to display the result. So that's the last part of the problem. So display. And here they are asking to remove the illegal characters in the variable name. So the illegal characters, we saw that the variables cannot start with the number, but number can be anywhere here, middle, end, anywhere, but not in the beginning. That is one rule. And the next rule is only alphabets, numbers, and underscores are allowed. Not hyphen sign, minus sign, plus sign, space, not allowed. So I am changing it to underscore. Okay. So I can remove the two also. So it makes a meaningful variable name, my first name, John. So this should have corrected this. Let's solve. Yeah, it is correct. And this is the next exercise. Insert the correct syntax to assign the same value to all three variables in one code line. See, shortcut. So we saw like x equal to, y equal to, z equal to orange, right? And this is the next topic. I don't want to go there. Okay. So yeah, these are the data types in Python. So we learnt about string type where we had John, awesome, Python, students, all are strings, Volvo. An integer like the value 5, 10, and floating point maybe our weight like 50.5 kilograms. Complex, most probably we will not use it. And there are some sequence types. I will come to that: list, tuple, and range. We will come to those things. And Boolean type, we already have been doing that. You might have not realized that, but we are already doing that. That is, we saw like if 5 greater than 2. I told you some special keywords like true, false, like that. 5 greater than 2 is true, 5 greater than 10 is false. So those are the two Boolean values. Boolean values means either true or false. Only two options are there. Like if you ask somebody like are you from Tamil Nadu, they will say yes or no, like true or false. Only two options will be there. But some people, if you ask them, do you like to study, they will say yes, no, or some people might say maybe. So for those kind of options, we cannot have Boolean. Only for two options like true or false, we can use the Boolean type. And there are binary type I haven't used much. Okay, so it's not like you have to do all these things, but I'll tell you that string, integer, list, tuple, range, dict, set, Boolean are widely used. Okay, not all I would be able to cover in 2 sessions, but I encourage you to go through that. Okay, so this one is another example: x equal to 5, and you're trying to print the type of x. You can clearly guess that it will print class int. Forget about the word class, but it's an int. Int stands for integer. And this is how they set the data types, like hello world. This is a string variable. You can see that data type is string. Automatically Python takes care of the type. You need not take care of it. But if you give like x, you won't know that x is holding a hello world or x is holding a 20. So that is the reason I am always stressing that you have to use meaningful variable names. So a meaningful variable name could be like greetings. Greetings equal to hello world, and age equal to 20. Something like weight equal to 20.5, and grocery list equal to apple, banana, cherry. So it should be a meaningful variable name. We should not encourage people to use X, Y, Z. That is not meaningful. Okay. And if you want to set the specific data type also, you can do like this, but it's not a problem. You can do it without this type also explicitly, like doing it. Still, you have to take care of the naming convention. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. And there are exercises here. So what they are saying, the following code example will print the data type of X. What data type would be? Would that be? Any guesses? X equal to 5. Print type of X. That is a special box. It can hold an integer. So what type it is? It is the integer. Okay. Next. X equal to hello world. Print type of X. What type is X? It is a string. So str. All right. X equal to 20.5. What type is X? Float. Float is for floating point. And this one I didn't cover it. I will come to that, and then we will talk about this. Okay, that's a very useful thing. I'll go on to the next topic. So numbers, we saw enough. Numbers can be very long numbers, negative numbers, all are treated as integers, all are of integer type. See, all int. Only if you use a decimal fraction like 1.5, you get float. Okay, first one is float, remaining two are integers. Okay, so what else? Floating point also can be a negative floating point numbers, and there is a scientific notation. It's not respective to Python. It's a general computer notation. If you don't know, it's not a problem. It's like 10 power 3 into 10 power 3. Okay, so if it's a negative means the decimal point will move accordingly. So based on the exponent. So I don't want to confuse you guys with this. Okay, complex numbers, it's no way, I haven't used it much. Random number, we'll come to that later. I think we can skip this. We have done enough of casting also, that converting from one type to another type. That is, one value is of is like a the string 3, but you want it to be converted to an integer, so you can use int. Okay, and this is a floating point number, maybe the weight of rice we bought, it's 2.8 kg, and you want to convert that to an integer. Only the 2 will be retained and the 0.8 will be lost. Okay, so we have to be careful when we are playing with some very important data. So when we are casting from floating point to integer, this decimal fraction will be lost, not rounded off. You might think it will be rounded off to 3 because it is greater than 5.5, but it's not like that. Okay, so it will be truncated or removed. And these are examples of floating point typecasting. And this is string typecasting. Everything is treated as a string. So mostly this will not fail. Even the numbers are treated as strings. Okay, Python strings and assigning to variable. I think we saw this. Hello will be assigned to the here and hello will be printed. And multi-line comments we saw. And similarly, multi-line strings also is possible. Suppose you want to write a paragraph in Python and you want to print that on the screen, then you can use this double quotation repeated thrice in the beginning and thrice in the end. So let's try this. So this is like printing a paragraph on the screen. So don't worry about the meaning. And here you can also give single quotation also, but you have to use 3 single quotations and you have to be consistent. You have to close it with 3 single quotations. So if you do that, you get the same output. So that means double quotation or single quotes are equal. So that's the next example they are giving. Yeah, see here. And strings are arrays. Okay, this is a new term. Array is a new term we are learning now. Okay, what is an array? Let's see that. So, you have a name like Bharat. Okay, and what is the first character in Bharat? It is B. B for ball. Okay, but the computers, right? Not only Python, they start the counting from always from 0. So internally in the computer's memory, this hello world will be in the memory location 0. It will start from 0, and E will be in 1, and 2 will have L, 3 will be having, and so on till the end. So you can imagine like A of 0 is equal to h, and a of 1 is equal to e. All right. So and so on like that. So I can give you an example, like we are living in a street, okay, and if I ask you the address for of you and your neighbor's address, both of you will have the same street name, right? Your street name will not differ. Your neighbor and you will both have the same street name. Only your house number will be different. So you can take that as an example here. So I'm dealing with A only because A is my street name. Everybody are living in that street, but they are living in different houses. So H is in the location 0, E is in the location 1, L is in 2, like that. Okay. So that is the reason when I asked who is living in the street A on the house number 1, the print is this E. Okay. So I told you, right, the computer starts counting from 0. So if I really want to access the H in the hello world, I should have done it like A of, I say of, okay, for this square brackets. A of 0 has H in it, the caps letter H. Okay. So that's what they're trying to explain. And because these characters are in staying in different houses, right, they are all are living in different houses but same street, you can actually do a looping is a kind of a repetition. Okay, so what you are trying to do is you want to go through this street and print who are all are present in the street one by one. Here you can see the indentation here. That is the space, similar to what we saw in if statement. So that means this print of x is inside or belongs to this for loop. And for loop begins just after this colon symbol. Okay. So what is happening is for x in is a keyword, for is a keyword. They are in blue color. And print is a function. And x is just a variable they are given. It can be anything. Even you can give I, name, or my neighbors, like that you can give. Anything you can give. It's not X. And here is the string here. So what will happen is this loop will go through one at a time. So first time it will pick up the first person from the house number 0. That will have B. And the next time it actually it will pick up that B and it will assign it to X. Okay, and when it comes to the second line it will print it on the screen. So B will be printed on the screen, and it because it is a loop, right, it will do repetition. So it will go back here again and it will pick up the next person A and it will assign to the same variable X. So B is lost, so B is not there, and it comes to the second line and A is printed. So it will be like B, and then in the next line A, and in the next line N, and until it reaches the end of the string. So it's not going to run in a loop infinitely, but it is completely based on this value. So there are 6 characters in this string. So this loop will run for 6 times. So 6 times the value of x is going to change and printed on the screen. So you can see that x has taken the value b for the first time, and next time a, next time n, a, right? Okay, and even you can hold, you can have the variable fruit and have the value banana. So instead of using the string directly here, you can make use of the variable. So the variable contains banana. So you will get the same result. Let's see that. See here, banana. Okay. And we can do concatenation, right? So let's try to play with that. Okay. So something like plus x we give. So x is always b. Only in the next loop iteration, the value changes to a, right? So I'm just trying to play with that by giving x. I'm just giving you giving a space so that it's more readable for you or viewable for you. So x plus x should give bb. Let's try that. See here bb, aa, nn, because x is having the same value in that instance. When it is taking up b, x becomes b. So when you do x plus x, that means you are doing a string concatenation. Okay. So I can do any number of concatenation like this, right? So here you can see banana, banana, banana. Okay, this is just an introduction to the looping. And if you want to know the length of the string, you can use the length function. So length is another built-in function which returns the length of the string. So you need not worry about counting the number of characters. You can give that work to the length. I told you that Python is a functional programming. It has a lot of functions in it. So whatever you want, you don't need to stress yourself. Just give it to Python functions. There are thousands of functions like this. Okay, we will slowly learn, and based on our experience and our environment, maybe we will use some subset of the functions, not thousands of functions. Whatever is required only we will use. So let's run it. So it should count the number of characters in it and print it on the screen. So it has 13 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is a comma. And 7, there is a space. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exclamation is 13. So 13 characters are there. So I told you that this is a street name and there are 13 people are living in it, starting from a of 0, right? So let's print a of 0. The first person in the street, who will be that? Any guesses? And who will be the last person in the street? I told you 13 characters, but we have to be careful, right? I told you the computer counts from 0 only. Because it's a length function, it is helping us to understand there are 13 characters for the humans to understand. But if you address them in terms of memory location, then we have to be careful because computer counts from 0. 0 is also a valid one for it. So the location starts from 0 to 12. That is the reason we have 13 characters. Okay, so let's run it. So what is the first character in this one? It is H. That is the first person residing in that street. The street name is A. And who is the last person? A of 12. That is the exclamation mark. That is why exclamation mark is coming. Due to some reasons, you are making an error, say that 13. Because length of A printed 13. And I want to print the last character. You are thinking that you will get this exclamation mark. Okay. So if you do that, you will get an error. And getting an error is not a problem because only by doing errors we will learn. So it says clearly it is out of range. There is nobody in that street in the 13th house because 13 is unlucky, right? So 13th house, nobody is there. That is because the computer counts from 0 to 12 only in this example. Okay. So if I increase like multiple characters, okay, I have so many characters. And if I want to find the length of it, it's very simple. Python will do it for me. So I don't know. It says it's like 63 characters are there. And who lives in the first house? It is H. And who lives in the 13th house? It is L. This L. So this time it is passing because it is having more than 13 characters. Okay, if I want to access the last person in the house, any guesses? Is it 63? 63 is the total length, and the count of the characters starts from 0 to 62. So 62 is the last character. We have to be careful. Okay. So 62 if I give, and I get the character E. Okay. So we saw enough of things in length. And there are some conditional statements like this. We'll see that. So the best things in life are free. It's a very true statement, right? And we can check if free is available in text. So we are like as if writing something in English. So you want to check. Can you please check the word free is there in this text? We'll say like that. So if we break down that, you'll see like free in text. So this is like asking free, is it there in the variable text? Is it there? I'm asking like that. So I'm asking Python like that, and Python is saying true because it is a Boolean value. So this in will yield a Boolean value. I told you Boolean means only two values, true or false. It is there or not. You cannot say maybe here. That is not a valid answer. Either you say it's there or not there. So free is there. Yes, it is there. Okay. So now I'm asking me. I'm asking whether me is there in the text, in this text variable. It says false. So it's very clear, right? Either true or false. You can use that in a if statement to take decisions. So now you are coming to a point where in Python, you're taking decisions here. So the text contains this string, the best things in life are free, and you are checking if free is in text. So free is there in text. So what is happening? You are printing. So this is inside a if block. So you're printing, yes, free is there in present. But what if free is not there in the text? What will happen? Okay, I just change it to something. Me. So I'm trying to check if me is there in the text. So me is not there in the text. So it's not able to print this screen, print this line. So I change it back. I can do like this also. I remove the free from here. They both are same, right? There is a text, and the text does not contain free, and you are checking whether it has free in it. So it will not be true, a Boolean true, and you will not see this print message. You are seeing a blank message. See, this is not acceptable. If it is not there, tell me it is not there. If nothing comes up, I cannot assume that it is not there, right? So in Python, we have something to handle the either or situation using a else statement. So else means it works in conjunction with if. It cannot live by its own. Okay. Only if the if condition fails, we will come to else. So what we'll say at home? Okay, we go to the hotel, we ask for chapati, and if chapati is not there, we will not come back because we are hungry. Okay, so if chapati is there, give me. Else, you give puri. So you are giving a option. Okay, so that's the same thing happening here. So if that condition is not satisfied, then we have to report it correctly to the user. What we should do? Say no. He is not present. So now it's more readable and understandable by the user. But in a Python program, as a Python program, it works, but it's not user friendly. Okay, we have to write user friendly programs. So this case, free is not there in the text, and you're getting the print. No, free is not present. Okay, now I understand. Okay, yeah, it's not there. Okay, let me put it there. Let me put free there. Now I run it. So here now this print statement is coming, not the else part. Okay. So this way we are changing the control flow. So the flow is going in one direction, but based on the decision, we are changing the control flow. We are executing some other statement. If free is there, then execute this. If free is not there, then execute that. So we are changing the direction of the code flow. And if you want to write something outside this if else code block, so I write this is outside the if else block. So this print has no connectivity or no relation with this if else. So always this print will come. So this time it is the condition is true. So this is printed as free is present and it is getting printed. And if free is not there, you are getting this time the else print. And you are getting this regardless of this condition, just to prove a point that this print statement is not related to the if else block, because the all the blocks have the indentation, so that Python understands that this statement belongs to else and this statement is outside the if else block because it doesn't have indentation. So that's the power of indentation. Okay, so always we have to be consistent and check if not, that is also there. Like if it is not there, you can check it. So expensive is not there in the free, so not in conjunction with in. So this is a new keyword we are learning. Not in, it should not be there. We are checking, it should not be there. Yes, it is not there. Expensive is not part of the word variable text, so it will give you true. If I change it to in, it will print false because we are expecting expensive should be in the text file, in the text, and it's not there. Understood, right? Yeah, and you can do that with the help of if, and as I explained you, we can add else also. Yeah, slicing is another thing. I told you, right, the position of each character. Like I gave you an example of the street and the neighbors in the street. So this hello world, we have the neighbors just adjacent to each other. H is there, then E is there. H lives in the 0 apartment, E lives in 1 apartment, L in 2, like that, and so on. So there is a special operator called slicing. It's a normal colon operator. Okay. So 2 colon 5. See, the B stands for the street name, and 2 stands for the house number 2 up to house number 4. See here, 5 is not included. Okay. So if you want 4 to be included, then you have to give 5. If you want 5 to be included, then you have to give 6. That is the rule. So just give a guess, like what will be printed. So we know that counting inside the computer starts from 0. So H lives in 0, B of 0, and E lives in B of 1. L lives in B of 2. So L will come. We have guessed it correctly. So L will be coming. And who is living in B of 3? Another L. B of 4, O. So these 3 characters should be printed on the screen, not the fifth one. Fifth one is comma, and that is not included. See here. So if I want to print world using slicing, can you give me the exact value? So we start the counting with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 is where W starts. The person W lives in the B of 7th house. 8, 9, 10, 11. But if I want to 11 to be there, then I have to give 12 also. Okay. So I will give 7 colon 12. Let's see, I get world alone, not the exclamation mark. Yes, it is. So now you guys are specialist in slicing also. Okay. So note, the first character has index 0. I told you, right? The first person always lived in house number 0. You have to remember. So there are many examples like that. And this slicing is also used in list. So I encourage you to get into and learn the list data type also. That also has the index starting from 0 and goes up to whatever end. So I'll give you an example of a list. So we have fruits, and list is another type. Okay. So it should be enclosed using square brackets. And this is the, so suppose if you are going to a supermarket, you will prepare a list, right? Exactly, it is the same thing. What and all you will buy? You will buy rice, sugar, juice, water, face mask, everything will be there. All of different type, right? You understood? So it's not only like orange. Like you might get some cashback of 200 rupees. You may have a coupon. You may have to purchase a coupon of 200 rupees, something for gifting a friend. And what else you will buy? Sugar you will buy, and rice. So this is a list. It's a typical list. And if I want to print the list, I just give the name of the variable. It's a list variable. So what is getting printed? It will print the list. That's all it does. And we know the type, right? What type it is? I just wanted to reconfirm what type it is. So I'm adding the type function. So I put the type. I get class list. It's a new type. It's not integer. It's not string. It's not float. It's a new type. So one thing you learned, and you are able to expand in Python. So that's the beauty of it. Okay. So don't think you will be always learning new things. You will be learning new things, but you will have the knowledge to upskill that. So don't think you always need to start from fundamentals. Now you know the fundamentals. So we learned something like length in the strings. So we can use that here. Length is a valid function to operate on lists. So what is the length of fruits? How many things you are going to buy from the supermarket? There are 4 things, right? Let's count it. Let's see whether Python is able to help us. Yes, there are 4 things. There are 4 things you want to buy, and you have a list type, and you are able to print the list. Everything you are able to do. What about looping? Because you are getting into the supermarket and you have to go one by one, right? One by one only you will put it in the basket, not like dumping everything, right? That's not possible. So I put for um, so this one is not meaningful, right? So I make it uh, groceries. Okay, so I change this to groceries. You can have groceries underscore list also. So for item in groceries, I put space and I give a print item. Okay, so let's see that. See, I'm going to go through one by one and maybe put it in the basket. Okay, so let's put it in the basket. Plus, so there might be an error here. Okay, so I'll tell you what error. There is, we are trying to do concatenation, and one of the item is integer type. So you should understand there is a list, and inside the list we have several things, each of different type. I told you, right? Water will be there, sugar will be there, rice will be there, juice will be there, all fruits will be there. Each one is of different type. So you have to take care when adding or concatenating strings. So what I do, I make sure all the items are converted to a string before doing the concatenation. So I make sure it should not fail. So even if it is a number, it will be converted to a string and then string concatenated along with this. Okay, I leave a space. So you're going to the market and putting one by one in the basket. So orange, put it in the basket, 200. Maybe it's a cash coupon for 200. Okay, by putting it in the basket, sugar, rice. Okay, suddenly your mom is calling you and she's saying, "Hey, I gave you the list, but orange and rice I have already bought it here. So don't buy that." Suddenly you need to do some slicing here, right? So what will I do? I will print groceries, and we learned slicing already in with strings. So the same thing can be applied here. So which one she said we don't want orange and rice. So you want this cash coupon and sugar. So I told you that this is a street name, and each one is residing in one street now. Sorry, each one is residing in his house, and his house starts with house number 0. So orange actually lives in groceries of 0, and 200 actually lives in groceries of 1, and so on, 2, 3. Okay, so you want from 200 to sugar. So let's slice them. So who lives in house number 1? It is 200. And the next one is sugar. Sugar lives in house number 2. But you want sugar to be included, then you have to give always 1 plus to that. So that's the rule we saw. So you have to give 3. That doesn't mean rice will be included. Okay, it's always excluded. The last number is always excluded. So let's run it. So you have initially you have put it in the basket, but then when your mom called you and asked not to take orange and rice, then you sliced them, like slicing. Okay, so you sliced the list, the top part and the bottom part you sliced, and you took the only the required things from the supermarket. So all these things are applicable. Like if you learn one thing, it can be applied to list, tuple, and even to dictionaries. Many things you will learn. So, so this is just a starting point for you guys to learn. And like we have a part of a training institute. So if you are interested, you guys can get in touch with that. We teach Python and all. And so this learning, right, it never ends. So always feel happy and always try to practice things. So it's not like a very sad thing to learn a new technology. So that gives us a lot of knowledge, right? And by and also you can work in groups, you can work with your friends, you can share your knowledge. By sharing the knowledge only, we will learn a lot of things. So this is just a glimpse of what Python is about. It's not possible to cover everything in just 2 sessions. Okay, and I made sure that I did not confuse you by teaching some advanced things which are not related to the introductory sessions. So yeah, even then, if you have any questions, feel free to ask your ma'am, and she can direct the questions to me. And anytime I'm free to help you guys. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, you can ask me. So, Karmuhil ma'am, you can take over.
That was a very informative session, sir. Thank you for sparing us your time from your busy schedule. I'm Aishwarya from BCom ISM.
Yeah, hi, Aishwarya. Thank you for that. Thank you for your
Thank you,
opportunity.
sir. I would like to ask a question.
Sure.
Can we implement OOPS in the Python? OOPS concept in the Python?
Loops concept in
Python. OOPS. OOPS
oops, oops.
concept in
Yeah, yeah,
Python. Yes.
yeah. We can. I can show you an example if you have time.
Sure, sir.
Uh, sure. Yeah. Let me share my screen. Uh, Tell me when you're able to see the screen.
Okay, sir.
You're able to see.
It's visible.
You can see, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So OOP stands for Object Oriented Programming Language, and Python is a very good object oriented programming language. So you can create objects out of it, and each object can have a behavior with properties and methods. So it might sound a bit weird to learn about objects and encapsulation, so many things, but I'll tell you some very easier to understand example. Like we all are seeing objects everywhere. Okay, so the object could be a laptop. Okay, and what laptop I use might be different from yours. My laptop may have a built-in camera, yours may not have a camera. Okay, and my laptop may be waterproof and yours may not be waterproof. So it's like having objects, or it's like having a blueprint. So we both are having laptops only. Only thing is some of the properties I have are slightly different from yours, but the blueprint is going to be same. So we all evolved from animals, right? That's what the scientists say. So animal is a blueprint. An animal is a living thing. Okay, so we are social animals, and there are animals living in the forest also. So all are living things. And what differs between animals and us? Maybe they walk on, they are four-legged, but we are two-legged. And we can laugh, we can have professions, we can smile, we can talk. So those are the unique things. So that is the concept of inheritance. And there are many things like polymorphism and all. So maybe we can have an advanced session once you guys are understanding the basics, and we are once you are comfortable in the basics, we can move on to that.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, to answer your question,
Sure, sir.
Python and oops.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Aishwarya. Thank you, all students. Thank you for your time, and all stay safe. Thank you for the lovely opportunity given. I thank the organizers, Carmuil ma'am, principal, and the management for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you. Yeah, you want to say something?
Sir, I would like to call upon our friend for the vote of thanks.
Catherine, and I'm here to present the vote of thanks for today's webinar. I would like to thank our guest, Mr. Babu Balu, for conducting this webinar. It gives a deep insight in this about the Python and more about it. The points were touched as were really informatively, and I'm pretty sure the previous knowledge you gave us will be definitely helpful in our studies and also in our future, sir. Once again, I would like to thank you, Babu Balu, sir, for taking his time from his busy schedule and enlightening us with the knowledge. Thank you so much, sir. And I would like to thank our college management for conducting this webinar section and inviting Mr. Babu Balu, sir. And I would also like to thank the students for attending the workshop and making it into a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful session, sir. We'll end up the program.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.